Quarterback, tight end, and defense and special team streamers for Week 2 fantasy football presented to you by Fantrax. Brock Purdy logged his fourth top 10 fantasy football week through 7 regular season starts against the Steelers last week. 19 for 29, 220 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. He plays with efficiency. He has a great system and faces Seattle this week. Jordan Love will face Atlanta. Last week against Chicago, he finished the week as the quarterback 3 for fantasy football, and that was without Christian Watson. 245 passing yards with 3 passing touchdowns. The upside through the air was evident last week. Mac Jones will face Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins. Last week, Tua threw for 466 yards, so you can expect this game to be through the air. Mac Jones himself last week threw the ball 54 times. He had 34 completions for 316 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. He was the quarterback 2 for fantasy football last week. Luke Musgrave against Atlanta for the tight end position. Hayden Hurst was just the tight end 2 last week against Atlanta. Musgrave played 75% of the snaps in Week 1. He caught 3 passes on 4 targets for 50 yards, and he should have scored. And speaking of Hayden Hurst, he gets the Saints. He was the tight end 2 last week for fantasy. He led Carolina in all receiving categories. Last week, he caught 5 balls on 7 targets for 41 yards and a touchdown. Roles are being established with rookie Bryce Young. He looks like his guy right now. Hunter Henry faces Miami. He was the best fantasy tight end last week. He played 79% of the snaps. He caught 6 passes for 56 yards and a touchdown. Jake Ferguson draws the Jets this week, who in Week 1 allowed Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid to combine for 7 receptions. Ferguson played 72% of the snaps in Week 1 and was targeted 7 times in the Dalton Schultz role. Zach Ertz gets the Giants. Last week he played 77% of the snaps. He caught 6 of 10 targets for a mediocre 21 yards, but I just think that he is Joshua Dobbs' easy outlet. The yardage and touchdowns might be concerning, but the volume here is key for PPR leagues. Now for defense and special teams, I know that the Giants got blown out by the Cowboys last week, but it was primarily due to the Cowboys' defense and special teams scoring and making huge plays. The Giants draw Arizona. Washington allowed 16 against them last week, but 0 rushing or receiving touchdowns. This is a Joshua Dobbs-led offense, so I like the Giants this week. And the Colts draw the Houston Texans. Houston put up 9 points last week against Baltimore, who is a strong defense, but still they are led by a rookie quarterback with an offense that's still trying to establish an identity. Be sure you are following all Fantrax socials for consistent content.